Hello everyone. Let's start the lesson on reporting verbs for citing others' works. We will begin with what paraphrase is, why it is important in citing others' works, then move on to features of a good paraphrase and how to write one. We will have the practice and quiz in the end. So, what are reporting verbs and why is it important to use them while citing others' works? A reporting verb is a verb used to refer to or to report on others' works. It can indicate the author's personal viewpoint, our viewpoint on the source, or the author's viewpoint on other works. Reporting verbs are important because in academic writing, we're often required to comment on someone's work, agree or disagree with someone's study, or evaluate someone's ideas. Using precise reporting verbs thus can demonstrate our accurate interpretation of the source. Now let's move on to the functions and tones of reporting verbs. A range of reporting verbs can be used for arguing, presenting, or other functions. Some verbs are weaker in tone while others are stronger. For example, the verb argue is stronger in tone for arguing, while assure is more neutral and apologize is weaker. Similarly, when citing a source that strongly presents a certain idea, we would choose the verb announce over state. Other functions include believing and suggesting, and the reporting verbs in different tones are as shown in example. Note that the same verbs may be used for different functions. For example, assert can either express a strong belief or to suggest. Still other reporting verbs can help us report on the works that disagree on certain ideas, as shown in example. As for a function that does not indicate a position, such as concluding, neutral reporting verbs would be used. Now let's look at how reporting verbs are used in sentences. First of all, most reporting verbs are followed by that when being used in sentences. For example, the verb suggest is almost always used with that to report on research findings as shown in the sentence. On the other hand, some verbs are more often used with the preposition in sentences. For example, the verb define is usually followed by the preposition s to report on the essential background information of a source, such as the definition of a key term. Still other reporting verbs are usually followed by a noun or a gerund in sentences. As the example shows, the verb question is followed by the claim to report on the discussion of a source. Finally, let's look at the tense of reporting verbs. When we refer to articles and books, we normally use the simple present tense for reporting verbs, as shown in the example. However, when using the reporting verb to present the results of past research, we will use the simple past more often, no matter how recent the research is, as the example shows. Now, let's practice what we have learned. For the first practice, fit the 3 reporting verbs for disagreeing into the table according to their tones. The answers are wonder for a weaker tone, question for neutral, and debate for a stronger tone. Next, let's read the sentences and choose the best reporting verbs to complete them. For sentence 1, the best verb is assert followed by that to express a strong belief. For sentence 2, the best verb is define followed by the preposition s to present the definition of a term. Now let's check how much we have learned. The first quiz is odd one out. For each function, one word does not belong with the others in tone. Cross out the verb that doesn't belong. For arguing, assure is out because it is the only neutral verb. For presenting, promise is out because it is the only strong verb. For disagreeing, question is out because it is the only neutral verb. Finally, for suggesting, assert is out because it is the only strong verb. Next, choose the more appropriate tense for the reporting verb to complete the sentence. The answer is B, the simple past verb concluded, because the sentence refers to the results of past research. Now, let's review our lesson on using reporting verbs while referencing and citing. A reporting verb is a verb used to report on others' works. It is important to use appropriate reporting verbs to demonstrate our accurate interpretation of the source that we cite. Also, distinguishing among weak, neutral, and strong reporting verbs according to the functions can help us choose the most appropriate verbs when reporting on others' works. Thanks for joining us for the lesson. This online course is funded by the Ministry of Education.